Jeff Gordon walked away from NASCAR in 2016 with 4 championships, 93 Cup wins, and nothing left to prove. For nearly a decade, he stayed on the other side of the pit wall. But on April 10, 2026, he climbs back into a race car. Not for a sponsor, not for a parade lap, to race. And the field waiting for him is no joke. The event is called the IROC Heritage Invitational. It runs April 9th through 11th at 1010 Motor Club in Concord, North Carolina. That is a private facility built right next to Charlotte Motor Speedway, developed with involvement from Marcus Smith and Rick Hendrick, 2 names that carry serious weight in NASCAR. IROC stands for the International Race of Champions. The original series ran from 1974 to 2006. The whole idea was simple and brilliant. Take the best drivers from every major racing discipline, put them all in identical cars, no excuses, no equipment gaps, just ability. The cars used in this Heritage Invitational are the real ones from that era. Camaros and Firebirds from the original 1974 to 2006 period. Every driver gets the same machine. Same horsepower, same setup. If you win, it is because you were better, period. That format is what made IROC legendary. And that same format is exactly what makes Gordon's return so interesting. Because here's the thing about Jeff Gordon in identical car racing. He was genuinely dangerous at it. Gordon competed in the IROC series from 1995 to 2006 seasons. And he did not just show up and collect a check. His best year was 1998. He won at Daytona in the IROC race and finished 3rd in the overall standings that season. For context, the 1998 version of IROC featured some of the toughest drivers in the world from multiple disciplines. Gordon held his own against all of them. He has talked about what racing in IROC actually felt like. He said, "You just cannot believe the names you are lining up against. Exciting racing, big names." He described it as something kids in motorsport looked up to. Getting that invite, he said, meant something real. That is not nostalgia talking. The original IROC was genuinely hard to win. The drivers in that field knew every trick in the book, and the equal equipment took away any shortcut. Now it is 2026. Gordon is 54 years old. He already raced in a recent IROC-style event at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and finished 4th. So he is not coming into this cold. He has been testing himself. Think about what 4th at Laguna Seca actually means. That track rewards precision and car feel above everything else. It is not a place where you survive on reputation. The drivers who beat him there are real competitors. He did not cruise in and coast home, he pushed, and 4th was the result. That is the honest benchmark heading into Concord. Not his 1998 Daytona win, not his 4 Cup titles, what he actually did in a race car recently. And the honest answer is that 4th in your first real competitive outing after years away is not embarrassing, but it is also not winning. The question is whether finishing 4th at Laguna Seca means he is getting back up to speed or whether it was his ceiling. And the field in Concord is going to push that question hard. Remember at the start of this video when we said the field waiting for Gordon is no joke? Here is what that actually means. Bill Elliott is in this race. The 1988 Cup Series champion, a man who won the Daytona 500 twice and was voted NASCAR's most popular driver an absurd 16 times. Elliott is not in this race to make up the numbers. Bobby Labonte is in this race, the 2000 Cup Series champion, a driver who spent years competing at the highest level and still knows how to hold a line under pressure. Mark Martin is in this race, one of the most technically precise stock car drivers in NASCAR history. A man who finished 2nd in the championship 4 times and never once made it look like luck. Kurt Busch is in this race, a former Cup champion who built his career on racecraft and intensity. Ken Schrader is in this race, a journeyman who raced everything, everywhere, and is still sharper in a car than most people half his age. And then there is the road racing side of the field. Scott Pruitt, Tommy Kendall, Max Pappas, and Tommy Drissi. Road racers with thousands of hours in cars exactly like the ones being used in this event. They are not there to fill out the grid. This is a genuine field of legends who still know how to drive, and they are all in the same equipment. So when the green flag drops, every position earned or lost is completely on the driver. Gordon has won against most of these names before, but that was 25 years ago, and in equal car racing, experience only gets you so far if the instincts are not still there. There is one more thing worth saying about this field. These are not drivers who just show up to events like this for fun. Elliott still races dirt tracks. Schrader competes in short track events constantly. Martin has never truly stepped away from competition. These men have stayed sharp. Gordon is the one who went into the broadcast booth and the front office. The rust question applies to him more than anyone else in this lineup, and he knows it. Gordon did not describe this race as a hobby or a fun exhibition. He talked about it in a way that made clear he still thinks of racing as something serious. He said that every time these IROC cars line up and take the green, it is an amazing feeling. He described the original IROC as something drivers work toward, not just an invite, something worth working toward. That mindset matters, because there is a version of a driver return that is purely ceremonial. A wave to the crowd, a few slow laps, a post-race interview. This is not that. Gordon is 54 years old and racing against drivers who still compete regularly in various series. The Laguna Seca result proves he is not just along for the ride. But it also raises the stakes, because if he struggles in Concord, the comparison to his prime becomes uncomfortable. And if he wins, or even runs up front, that changes the story entirely. The Heritage Invitational is not a casual weekend. The people behind it specifically brought in the original era IROC machinery and built a field designed to answer a real question. Who are the best drivers of their generation when every other variable is removed? That question has only gotten harder to answer now that NASCAR has changed so much. The current Cup Series runs a totally different car on a totally different calendar. The drivers from Gordon's era never got to face each other in this format as often as they should have. This event fixes that, and it is being broadcast live, which means the result actually counts in the public record. Gordon versus Elliott, Gordon versus Martin, Gordon versus Labonte. These matchups are not hypothetical anymore. They are happening. And Gordon came back knowing that. Jeff Gordon did not have to do this. He is the vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. He has 4 championships on his wall. His legacy is already locked in. +1. But he is getting back in the car anyway, against real competition, in equal machinery, with the race going out live. Earlier in this video, we said he climbed back in not for a sponsor and not for a parade lap. That is still true. Everything about how he has talked about this race and everything about the field he is walking into says this is a real competition. April 10th. 10/10ths Motor Club, Concord, North Carolina. We are about to find out if Jeff Gordon still has it.